everyone, welcome back to another week at Shotgun Football, where we are at Skyline Commons for a matchup of Pirates and the Assault. Where both these teams are looking to kind of get on the board here. I think both teams have not won a series yet this year, but obviously that'll change this week as one team has to win a series. So I'm pretty excited about that. I know your team's looking, both teams are a little skimmed today, so we'll see exactly how it all shows up. But I know for you, like kind of going forward, this is probably like I guess you were hoping your whole team was here to kind of kickstart the second half of the year, because this is probably one of the best teams to kind of like, hey guys, we're going to go in and we're going to like figure things out, we're going to try to win the series. So what's your kind of thoughts on that going forward for the series?
It's just, it's nothing, it's kind of, they don't have a Josh, they don't have a Ken Travis, and that's kind of tough when the first couple of weeks you come out here, you're facing some of the best pitchers that the league has to offer, all of them coming right around 60, and when those are your first bats in the league, especially for the season, it's kind of hard to get going and get into a rhythm. Brian's a fantastic pitcher, but he's not coming at 60, so hopefully, I was hoping some of the guys I have out here today really had a chance to look at the way the ball moves at a little bit slower pace, but it seems that we're going to be down a couple, but we'll try to press on here.
Yeah, I guess before we go any further, I do want to thank our two sponsors for this year. One is Smith Home Improvement, and done for your inside or outside your house, and we have Frontline Auto Mobile Mechanic Service, and that link for them will also be in the description below. Alright, well, I guess we'll finish off this off with our series predictions, and we'll kind of get move on. It's a little buggy day, we're trying to get things moving, so I think that just like it's hard to really tell because of where the teams are at and like who's all showed up. I'll go 2-1.
I'm gonna go Assault. We're down to a 2-man lineup today, and it's looking like this point. So I'm gonna hope that we win it and don't get too gassed in the process. So should be a good series though.
All right, I guess we'll see for pitch number 1 of Pirates and the Assault.
That's a hit. Gets a piece. That's going to be a clean single here. As it gets a piece. That's an out. First out here of the inning. Takes his walk. And popped. He's gonna drop that. Beat him out at second. Gets a piece. That gets by Keith. That's gonna be safe at home. Safe everywhere else. No stays. That's a piece. Can't quite come up with it. Ryan's gonna be safe. Gets a piece. Right at Keith. Can't quite come up with it cleanly. That is going to be safe. Fouled into the zone. That's our second out here. Gets a piece. Keith beats Noah. That's going to be the third out. Gets him on 57. That's a walk. Gets a nice piece. That one goes down. Keith almost gets himself out, but he gets back to the bag. Everybody's safe. 56 gets him 1-2. Noah comes back with some strikes. Gets a piece. That's going to go over the line. That's a fair ball. He misses. It's out of play. Everybody gets a base. On the outside pipe, great pitching from Noah. Pulls it back, finds the zone here in the first. 4-2. Salt still leading. Gets a rip. Gets a piece. That's gonna find a spot in right field. Ryan's gonna round, Noah's gonna round. And they've got second and third. Gets another rip. Ryan swinging first pitch all day on these. Swing and a miss. First two. It's a rip. That's an out. Now that's a walk. Ryan gets a piece right back at the pitcher. That's going to be a force out of 3 to end the inning. That's a piece. And that'll be safe for Brent.
I know so much further than well. So much. Oh, get the fuck out that one.
58, top pipe. Great pitch from Noah. Gets beast. First pitch. That's going to be a single. Yeah, hits him on the outside. Is that zone or leg? Waves that one on the outside. It's a big hit. That's going to get by Ryan.
It's all right.
Gets a nice hit. That's over Noah's head. Keith stays to. He's going to run.
You gotta be smart. Okay.
Swing and a miss. Noah finds the inside part of the plate. Gets a piece. That's going to be fair all day. No play to be made. That's a run in. Finds the bottom of the zone. That's a strikeout for Noah. We go to 2 outs. Gets a huge hit. Doesn't stay in. It stays in. That's the final out. Oh, man. Almost a walk-off 3-run shot, but it stays in by a matter of a few feet. Gets a piece. Ryan comes in. That's going to be a catch. 5. Swing and a miss. Out number 2 on the drop ball. Gets a piece. Right back at the pitcher. Can't quite get it cleanly, and Holly's going to get her single. Hold. We're at 2 outs. Guys on first and second. Keith gets a big hit into right. It's going to drop. It's a piece. Right back to the pitcher. Doesn't quite get it clean. He's going to get Keith at home, though. Swing and a miss on the inside pitch.
There you go.
That's going to be a hit here for Noah.
Hey, we broke up the no again.
It's a piece. Brent's going to range down and get it. Throws, misses. That's going to be overthrown. It's a piece. That bounce is fair. That's a fair ball. Gets a piece. Tags Noah on the way to third. That'll wrap up the inning. Gets a rip. That is absolutely over the fence. No doubter.
Go ahead and take that one more time. I think it might not be 100%.
Swing and a miss. Gets a piece over Noah's head.
Yes, Ollie.
Swing and a miss on the outside slider to Brent. Swing and a miss. Gets a rip. Right to Brent. Has range in a couple steps, but he's got that. Gets a rip. That's a single for Ryan. That's a walk. It's a piece. That's into right, and that's fair.
Go two, go two. Go three.
Noah's pushing it around.
Hey, there we go.
Gets a piece. That's a catch.
Hey, good IQ, right? Good IQ.
Takes a rip. Oh, it just hits the very top of the fence, inches from a home run for Noah.
Well,
It's a hit. Good play from the Pirates there. Gets a piece right back at the pitcher. That's a fair ball. Ryan's gonna take her out at one though.
he only hits it over the fence.
Gets a piece as he says it, puts it opposite field. Gets a piece, popped up. No ranges under it, that's an out. Gets a piece. Noah's in place to catch this one though. Holly's been hitting fantastic today, but it's not quite enough to get him over the line. That's a piece. That's going to be fair this time. Gets a piece.
Out there, I can try to poke it.
That's fair. It's a hit. Noah. Strike three. Strike. Gets a rip. He catches it.
Is that three?
Yeah, that's three. Gets a piece. Ryan can't quite get it cleanly. Nah, you get one. Gets a piece. Noah can't quite get there. Brent rounds. Noah gets him. Gets a piece. Gets a piece right back at the pitcher. Ryan is gonna get the out at two. Gets a piece. Gets a piece. Gets a piece right back up the middle. Ryan's gonna round to go home. Nice pitch from Ben, inside pipe. Good leave. Takes his walk. Gets a piece right over Brent's head. Out at second. Gets a piece. Gets by Keith. Gets a little tapper. It's going to be an out. Gets a rip.
Oh, yes, Holly. Woo!
Holly's stats in the day must be incredible. She's been hitting phenomenally. Fouled into the zone. Gets a piece. That's going fair for sure. Gets a rip right back up center. Gets a piece.
My bad, Ryan.
Ball still in play. Gets another piece. Walk. Gets a piece. That's a catch. Right back at the pitcher. That'll be the final out.
I was hoping it wasn't. That was my pitch too. I should have hit that.
Gets a piece. Can't get there for sure.
We're doing figure eights.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the end game of the Assault versus the Pirates, where the Assault take it 3-0. And actually, the first two games very good. The second game, or last game, kind of got a little hand. Again, it's hot out. We have so less people. A little hard to kind of get everything going here. You guys had a two-man lineup, and like we've talked about in the past, where those two-man lineups. Yeah, it's tiring, but man, you get so many at bats, and I think Noah here kind of was a big factor, as like a beneficiary to a two-man lineup. So what's your opinion on kind of?
My opinion is we're hot, we're tired, but it was nice to come away with our first series win this year, and it was a sweep. We've been swept this year. We've lost every series, so this felt good to come out here and get this. Wish we had more of our guys out here today. There was a couple of times where I feel like if we had anybody out and left while I was out and right, or vice versa, you know, it could have prevented a little bit more runs, but to come away with all three felt great.
Yeah, I mean that's a big factor here. Is that you not only won your first series, but also winning three. That's got to be and unfortunately your whole team isn't here, so the momentum's kind of with two people. But like you got to go into your locker room like, hey guys, we won the series, we swept, and like I think we played really well. So you got to go tell them, hey, you know, you got to come out next week and you guys have a pretty hard matchup next time with your Rangers. I know you guys, it's Rangers and then Marauders, is that it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got some teams those are, well, Rangers no, but Marauders might be a team you play in the playoffs pretty early on. We'll see. We're projecting right now, Marauders most likely are playing it, third seed. It might be it could be the Musketeers, but let's just assume it's the Marauders. You know, maybe they don't pick you guys. Maybe you guys are really going into special delivery, but they could pick you guys. I don't know what their game plan is, but I guess we'll see when it comes to playoffs. So I guess we'll bring in the series MVP, Noah Meter. Noah, first time in a while to have you up here. I mean, you were hitting the ball today. I mean, it was like not saying usually hit down the line. You're hitting all over the field, which is also especially helpful against this team because they were down 2 guys, and obviously Holly had to play a field, and that's just she doesn't like playing the field, so that's just very helpful for you guys to have that in their bag and everything. Scored a good amount of runs. You guys might have scored. I think pretty sure that's the most runs you guys scored in the series. So this year. So
100%.
What kind of goes from? I mean, like we talk all the time about how like you've been in the league for a long time. It's your 5th year. You've seen the wide range of how good your team has been or bad. First couple of years, your team was one of the best in the league, and now you guys are struggling a little bit. That's part of our league too. Teams that are good usually get worse because how our draft system works, and you'll eventually get better. Like if you guys don't win this year, you have another top end pick. You always get a couple guys that are good. You'll get better. What kind of like goes through your head on the evolution of your team? You've been through a lot of teammates. So what's kind of thoughts on that?
I think just keeping the confidence up. That's what it's all about, really. When our confidence is high, we hit a lot better, we field a lot better, pitch a lot better. When the confidence is low, we're swinging at stuff, striking out when we're giving the other team pitchers strikes that they don't. We don't need to give them.
I think that's the biggest thing with your team is like less of like I don't think you guys are talented enough to win. It's more of like a confidence thing. I think when you guys aren't playing well, it's the confidence. Like if you guys are playing well, I think you can at least hang with anybody else in the league. Like you guys have the pieces. Like, you have a guy like yourself who can be a main pitcher. Obviously, some days you might struggle, but you have the stuff to be a main pitcher. You have Ryan who literally has been hitting really well. He's been hitting better. You picked up a guy like Tom who can't hit the ball.
Yeah, I do like that.
Julian's super fat. Like you have a lot of pieces that maybe not. You don't have that one guy that does everything. Your whole team. Like I would say out of almost everybody in the league, like almost every team in the league, like every single one of your guys on your team is capable of doing stuff. Like you never like. I don't think any guy comes up on your team like, man, like this guy's hitting like 100. Like, he's gonna get out every single time. So I think you guys have a really well balanced team. I think just kind of putting things together. I think like I said, you talked to Brian where you guys lost a lot of close games too. Like that's just sometimes. I mean, like what? Like there was the year you won MVP that you had so many games you barely won. It goes back and forth. So
just how it goes. Yeah.
But I guess you have anything else you gotta say to your team here, just kind of going forward, or
no? I appreciate Ryan coming out. We got a lot of at-bats reps in.
I would say that's the one fun thing about 2 players. You got a lot of playing.
Got a lot of reps, which helps us because even though it's a 2-man and we're down our other teammates, when we can go into these other games and if we need to pick it up, we have the confidence and rep to do so.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it, and I thank you for a week, and you'll play the Rangers next time. So.
Good.
All right. Have a good day.